Board of Education will now come to order. Ms. McNamara, would you call the roll?
Dr. Spangler?
Here.
Mr. Payne?
Here.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Parks?
Here.
Mrs. Ellis?
Here.
Mr. Worthy?
Here.
Mrs. Williams? Mr. Huff? Mrs. Thornton?
Here.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like for you to stand, join us in a moment of silent meditation, and we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any amendments to the agenda?
I do, President Worthy. One amendment. I would like to pull number 22 off the consent agenda. That deals with the purchase of iPads. I'd also like to note just a correction that the total amount of $16,728 is correct, but the descriptor of the amounts does not match. But if you go back to in your packet, I would put in the place of the what we're purchasing and refer it to the bid specs, and that's proposal 2100671566, which is in his packet. That describes more succinctly what we're buying for the $16,700. But I'd like to add that note, pull it off the consent agenda.
Okay, we're pulling item 22 off the consent agenda. Any other amendments? Any other amendments?
Ovita has one.
Go ahead.
I would like to put on the table to rescind the reduction of force we voted on, and so also classworks.
Say that again, Ms. Thornton.
I would like to put on the agenda to rescind the reduction of force that we voted on last week, and also classworks.
And the last one was class.
Wasn't that the technology program that we're purchasing for the summer?
Classworks, yes. Classworks technology, okay. Okay, let me read it back to make sure I got it correct. You want to rescind your vote on the reduction of force, that's the RIF, and classwork, the technology piece that we voted on last week.
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm going to make that item 28.
Could we just point a clarification for amending the agenda? That would be a 2/3 vote. Would that be correct?
That's right. That's correct. But now we can do that now. We'll do it when we get to that
Well,
particular
I
item.
think we have to do it.
To amend the agenda.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Need a motion on that. Ms. Thornton?
I make a motion.
Okay. She moved.
I move.
Okay, you got a second from Ms. Davis. Okay. All in favor? Ready? Okay. All opposed? Sarah, I didn't get your vote.
I was in favor of
In
amending
favor.
the agenda.
Motion passed. Okay, and item 22nd, we're pulling that off the consent agenda. Any other amendments? Any other amendments? Need a motion to approve the agenda, to adopt the agenda. Moved by Mr. Payne, second by Ms. Davis. All in favor? Okay, motion passed. Thank you very much. Recognition of achievements and awards. Nisa? There you are.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mr. Superintendent, and members of the board. Tonight, I'm pleased to recognize many outstanding individuals from the Clarke County School District. Honorees, when I call your name, please come forth, accept your certificate, and shake the board members' hands. First up tonight, we have a special recognition for several individuals in our school district that can best be described by the word hero. As you know, on last week's 5th grade Oglethorpe Avenue Elementary Tybee Island field trip, several students were pulled under the water by a riptide. Let me go ahead and apologize if my terminology is off. I've already been contacted by oceanographers saying it is, so please take it in the spirit in which it's given. That being said, students were in distress. They were in danger. And several of our employees stepped up to the plate in various ways. And we want to thank them tonight, publicly thank them for going above and beyond. That being said, when talking to these individuals, they just shrug it off and act like it's all part of the job. And it is that commitment to our students in and out of the classroom for which we are honoring them today. First, we would like to recognize several of the office staff from Oglethorpe Avenue that provided support in a variety of ways. First, Rebecca Alpaw, school nurse. Of course, the assistant principal, Eric Frazier, for his leadership.
Great job. Thank you.
Morgan Jones, school counselor.
Great job. Thank you.
Kate Orozco, family engagement specialist.
Great job. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to recognize 5 of the teachers that continued on with the trip as planned, keeping children upbeat, learning, and happy, which was so important. Melissa Arrington, Rachel Kanchaszewski. Tell me it again. Tell me it again. Kanchaszewski. And Mr. Frazier even sent it to me phonetically. Deborah Kincaid. Matthew Lang. And Laura Porter.
Thank you.
And next we have 2 bus managers we would like to recognize. When they were both approached to go, without hesitation, they said, "Give me some keys, tell me where I'm going and what I need to do." They also stated, "This is what we do. We help one another, and you do for others as they is your family, because one day it could be you who needs the help." And tonight we'd like to recognize these managers for stepping up to the plate. Antonio Cooper. And these bus managers were the ones who transported families from Savannah back to Athens. And Parker Hardy.
Thank you.
Next, some additional school district staff that provided support and got up really early that next morning at 5 o'clock and headed down to Savannah. Heather Jarbo, the school district's lead elementary school counselor. And Dawn Myers, the director of social work. And Dawn came here on her day off, and we want to say congratulations, Dr. Dawn Myers, on your graduation. And finally, 2 individuals who can only be described by the word hero. These are the teachers that went in the water after the children. And as I have been told, they saved those children by going right in after them without hesitation. It may very well have felt like it was just part of the job when overseeing a field trip, but it most certainly fits the definition of above and beyond when you put your physical needs second to that of the physical safety of a child. Though it doesn't seem to even begin to cover it, we do want to say thank you. Sarah Lewis. And Jim Willingham.
Thank you so much. Great job.
And I believe we have maybe have some special comments at this time.
Yeah, I think that it's appropriate at this time. I want to open up with some comments and whatever other board members, if you like to say something pertaining to the Overthorpe elementary situation, feel free to do so. But do know that you were in our thoughts, prayers. Also, we are very proud in terms of how the superintendent and the staff here handled the situation. And those two heroes that went in that water, stand up again. It shows you what our teachers would do for students. Any other board member would like to make a comment? We'll move on.
I can too, is just to say it speaks volumes to who teachers are and what they do, and I certainly this morning begin to try to describe the work of teachers, and it's not a checkbox, it's not a score, it's not a tally, it's not an average, it's not a proficient, it's not an exemplary on a checkbox. It's simply what you do, what we do when called upon, and I think that's the element that we have to think about in our schools, and why we're really proud to be CCSD is because we know that all the things we do can't be checked off in a box, but we know when we need it, something's going to happen, and the right thing is going to happen, and the right thing's going to happen for children. So thank you.
Thank you. And before we continue, I know that there's a special event tonight at Oglethorpe Avenue, so if any of you need to go ahead and step out, we certainly understand you need to get back to the school. Well, now we will proceed with our regularly scheduled evening of awards and recognitions. Next, we would like to recognize Dallas Gabriel in the School District's Department of Transportation for receiving second place at the RESA Technician Competition. And he made an excellent showing with only 5 points separating him from first place. And we want to congratulate Dallas.
Keep up the good work, young man.
Thank you.
Great job.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. Way to go. Congratulations.
Next, we'd like to recognize the Governor's Honors Program finalists, and I see some of them here this evening. I know that there are several events throughout the school district, and so we'll try to get through these and make sure our individuals were able to come. 7 Clarke County School District students have been named finalists and will be attending the Governor's Honors Program, a residential program for gifted and talented high school juniors and seniors. It's a function of the Georgia Department of Education and will take place on the campus of Valdosta State University. Nearly 3,000 students from across the state were interviewed, and from those, 690 were chosen to attend the program. And it's fully funded by the Georgia Assembly, and they will arrive on campus June 23rd and participate for the 4 weeks following. And we'd like to recognize these students. Jenny Alpaw from Clarke Central High School, and she's going in Communicative Arts. Barrett Binder, Clarke Central High School, for Mathematics. Radford Brosius, Clarke Central High School, Design Architectural.
Great job.
Austin DeFore, Clarke Central High School, Design Architectural. Charles Harris, Clarke Central High School, Agri-Science and Biotechnology. Tyler Redmond, Clarke Central High School, for Music and Voice. And finally, Benjamin Bensel, Cedar Shoals High School, Biology.
Good job. Congratulations. Congratulations.
And next we have some honorees from Hillsman for some various awards. First, the Athens Optimist Oratorical Competition winner is Erin Colbreth, and Erin won second place in the girls division for 6th grade. And in the Daughters of the American Revolution essay contest, we had 2 winners also from Hillsman. Emily McCurley, she was the 8th grade winner for the Elijah Clarke chapter and also won the District 2 essay contest.
Congratulations.
And Sophia Weeks, who won the 5th grade award for the Elijah Clarke chapter.
Congratulations.
And next, we'd like to recognize a Clarke Middle School teacher for winning 2 very prestigious awards recently. So I'll read about her awards and then we'll call Megan McNeely up. So Clarke Middle School 8th grade English teacher Megan McNeely has been named the recipient of both the Spirit of Anne Frank Outstanding Educator Award as well as the Distinguished Educator of the Year Middle School for her work on Holocaust curriculum. She is a U.S. Holocaust Museum Fellow, and she was integral in creating a lesson titled The Road to Auschwitz that is used by middle and high school students in English and history classes across America. The Spirit of Anne Frank Outstanding Educator Award is a national award, and it's presented by the Anne Frank Center in New York City, and it honors one teacher who has proven that she has the personal courage to make a difference as an educator. This award recognizes a teacher who has created special programs or opportunities that encourage students to stand up to injustices against traditionally excluded groups. And as far as the Distinguished Educator of the Year Middle School Award, that is presented by the Georgia Commission on the Holocaust. And one teacher in elementary, middle, and high school throughout the state is recognized for being an outstanding educator in the fields of Holocaust education, human rights, civil rights, and character development, whose work exemplifies a passion to eradicate hatred and discrimination. And we are so pleased to recognize Ms. McNeely.
That's fantastic. Well done.
Congratulations. This is so great. Congratulations. Great work. Thanks.
And tonight, if you remember last month, we recognized 2 of our Helen Ruffin Reading Bowl winning teams, and tonight we'd like to recognize the other winning team, which was Clarke Middle School, and along with Hillsman, they placed first in the middle school division at the regional level. And tonight, we would like to recognize the team. Rebecca Barker, Anissa Coneen Nakano, Joanna Hall, Katie Mayfield, Zach Myers, Michaela Moore, Warren Rogers, Grace Rollins, Avery Warner, Nathan Winger, and Sean Hinger, the coach. And we're also recognizing the Clarke Middle School Science Fair Regional and State winners, and we have one team, and this team tested how the design and number of rotor blades on a wind turbine affects the amount of electricity produced, and they won second state honors in the junior division. And we'd like to call up those students now. Again, Anissa and Sankana Pavlik.
You've been busy.
And Zoe Peterson. And we'd also like to recognize Lydia Jackson for 4th state honors in the junior division.
Congratulations.
And Lydia compared 4 different vehicles, including the hovercraft and a magnetically levitating train that she built.
Wow. Congratulations. Great.
And I think we have, do we have Parker Hardy here now? He is part of the group that we wanted to recognize. He is a bus manager with the Oglethorpe Avenue Elementary School group. So Parker.
Congratulations.
Next, we'd like to honor the Coyle Middle School and Hillsman Middle School combined track teams. The boys' middle school team were the state champions, and the girls' middle school team, they were named state runner-ups. So we're very proud of that. Do we have any individuals from those teams here tonight? Okay, well, we're very proud of their honors for winning state championship and state runner-up. And next, we'd like to recognize a team that recently won the Athens-Clarke County Recycling Division's Waste Reduction School Award. And Hillsman Middle School has been selected as the 2013 winner for this year. And in addition, the school's science and energy team has also won a variety of other awards. They were Georgia's 2013 National Energy Education Development Youth Awards School of the Year and the National Need Youth Awards Rookie Junior School of the Year. And that organization will sponsor 1 teacher and 2 students' registration and travel to the award ceremony in Washington, D.C. this summer. And do we have Audrey Hughes here? And I also want to mention before Audrey comes up that she has been selected as one of the top 4 prize winners this year for the Teachers That Make a Difference award program through the Georgia United Credit Union. And so before I bring the team up, I want to tell you a little bit more about what they do. So Hillsman Middle School Science and Energy team works in the school and community to increase recycling. The students have begun a trash hunger campaign in which items are collected and sold. The earnings are donated to UNICEF and the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia. Non-traditional items like electronics, chip bags, candy wrappers, ink cartridges, and more are collected for the Trash Hunger campaign. The team is also leading the school's traditional recycling campaign for the Athens-Clarke County Recycling. Team members collect items for the Trash Hunger and traditional recycling campaign on Wednesdays. So they're very active in the school, and we're so proud of all they do. And we'd like to bring up the team leaders, Cameron Tanner and Jang Ho Yun, and the sponsor, Audrey Hughes. Come on up.
Sophia and Aaron, come on up. They're on the team also, but
Okay.
I can only send 2 names.
Well, come on up and shake hands with Aaron. Yes.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations.
Oh, hey. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for all you do.
In person.
You're great.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations again. Congratulations again.
And finally, we'd like to recognize the Clark Central's Odyssey and Iliad and Odyssey Online for taking top awards at the recent Georgia Scholastic Press Association banquet recently. Do we have any Odyssey and Iliad staff members here? Great. Well, come on up and I'll tell you all a little bit more about the awards. The 2012-13 Odyssey was recognized as GSPA's All Georgia News Magazine, which is the highest honors. The publication was recognized at All Georgia for the 5th time in 6 years. Let me know y'all's names. I know that we have some different members here tonight.
I'm Jenny Alpa, and I'll be the editor-in-chief next year.
Wonderful. And if you want to get the certificate.
I'm Geneva Hinkle, and I will be the print managing editor next year.
I'm Isabella Zachariah Jeffers, and I will be digital managing editor.
Congratulations. Great job.
And so the publication, The Odyssey, was recognized at All Georgia for the 5th time in 6 years. The Odyssey received the General Excellence Award for the 8th consecutive year, as well as a superior rating. The Iliad received the General Excellence Award and a superior rating. And the Odyssey online website received the General Excellence News Website Award and was rated All Georgia, which are highest honors. And Odyssey Online was named a pacemaker, the absolute highest honors possible from the National Scholastic Press Association. And they were runner-up last year and took that top prize last year. So we're very proud of the continued excellence from Odyssey and Iliad staff members. Congratulations. And finally, our 4-star award winners, we have one that could be here this evening, which is Todd Grachin from Gaines Elementary School, and he's the assistant principal. And he was nominated for this award by Sabrina Stewart, who works at Gaines. And she said that he has a positive attitude and welcoming personality. Staff and students can come to him to share, and they feel heard and appreciated. His background as an instructional coach also makes him a wonderful resource for the entire school community. He and Ms. Daniel are 100% dedicated to positive change at Gaines. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You are all of that.
Congratulations.
Again, on behalf of the entire Clarke County School District and Board, congratulations. You are also deserving and represent our school district so well and make us proud to be CCSD. Thank you.
You know, again, as well, before you leave, the descriptors of the work are just spot on. And even as you see tonight, we even expanded that list to new areas for us to recognize the work of our teachers. This is what it's all about. What you do every day is what it's all about. It's much larger than what many people think because it really is the collective efforts of everyone. And we're so fortunate to have talented individuals on our faculty and our students and our parents and our communities to support what we do. So I certainly, on behalf of all of the faculty and staff and administration, thank you for what you do.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Board members, we have Austin DeFore here from Clarke Central. He's a governor's honors.
Oh, God, yeah, awesome.
Congratulations, young man.
Congratulations. Great job.
That's great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You know, superintendent's report, and you know, I think much has already been said through our recognition program, so I won't go through that again. I just want to restate, this is a time of celebration for the work of our students. As we come down the stretch in graduation next week, people are working still feverishly to the end. That's okay, but it's definitely been a good week. It's been a good month in CCSD, and I'm just really proud of all of our work. So with that said, we have several recognitions this evening, so we will stay in that venue. And the first one is something that should be dear to our hearts or dear to our ears or dear to a lot of things, and that is our commitment to the arts. And I think one of the proud moments every time we talk to individuals in these kinds of times is the arts. That we have not only maintained the arts, we formed great partnerships with our community who, like us, support the arts, that do so much more to keep us alive and well. And to say that our arts are expanding is a tribute to not just us as a board, it's us as a community who said that's a priority. So we have I think a very special recognition that is not just in the county, it's not just in the state of Georgia, but this is a recognition nationally. So I'm going to turn it over to some of our best colleagues and partners.
Thank you, Mr. President and Superintendent and distinguished board members. My name is Harry Bergwall, and I'm here tonight as a member of NAM, the National Association of Music Merchants Foundation. And it is a foundation of 9,000 businesses in the music industry that is a not-for-profit group. And every year they do a Best Communities in America study of all the school districts in the country that apply. And it covers everything from the administration down to the schools, the teachers, the students, and the arts programs. So it's a very comprehensive program to be judged and to be honored to be in. And this year we had 4 schools in Georgia that were in the top list. And Clarke County, this is the first time, so congratulations, and many more to come. It also covers a broad base of the program that NAM does through advocacy, which Athvest is a part of NAM also, and very instrumental in achieving this award as well. And Mr. Bailey is here tonight. He's going to come up and say a word as well. And also as a school board, I just learned from NAM the other day that they finished a comprehensive study of the financial aspect of music. And it was determined that from K through 12 music programs nationwide, that the average cost per student per year is $187. So it's a very cost-saving program as well. And it just adds to the community, adds to the school, and everyone involved. So congratulations again. The plaque reads, "Recognition for Excellence in Music Education awarded to Clarke County School District for outstanding music programs and community support, enriching the lives of children and advancing student achievement. Best Communities for Music Education in America Survey 2013, presented by Ken Stanton Music and NAM, the National Association of Music Merchants."
Wow. Wow, terrific.
And I'd like to ask Jerry Bailey to come up from Athfest, who is a member of NAM also and has been, like I say, very instrumental in making sure that Clarke County was involved in this process.
Thank you all. We're only instrumental in the fact that we try to be a good partner in education for the Clarke County School District. They're the ones doing the music education, and we're very proud to be associated with y'all. We're proud. Athens is proud to be CCSD as well. And I want to thank you, Harry, and Ken Stanton, and NAM. NAM is a very good organization, and we're proud to be a member of them. But congratulations to all of you and to all the teachers and staff.
Thank you. And likewise, this is an effort by so many that plays an intricate part of this. But thank you for the association for recognizing our commitment, but recognize our commitment by our parents, by our students, by our educators, by our partners who said we can do this. And we not only are doing it, we have done it, and we're continuing going to do it and grow in Clarke County. The arts are alive and well. Thank you. And we'll keep going with another one of our partners, and that's in the mentor program as a special presentation. I would like to add that the mentor program has just grown so much in the last 2 years, both in not only in numbers but in depth and how we're able to make connections, and it's part of our fabric. I want to thank you. It's part of our fabric being in this community to have our mentors in our schools. We talk about it, but some people talk about it and don't do it. We talk about it, and it's being done every day. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And right now, as of today, we have over 400 mentors who are visiting their mentees in all 21 of the Clarke County schools. Wow. So we're really excited about that. And it takes a lot of volunteer effort, all those mentors and our board of directors and our community supporters. But also, it takes our contact person, and we have one at each of the schools. It's usually a school counselor, and they are doing this job of, we send them the application of a newly trained mentor, and they are keeping a list of the students who they think could benefit from having a mentor, and they do that all-important matching process so that this is going to be a relationship that hopefully will go on for many months, if not years. And also they are the on-site support for that mentor, and they're doing all kinds of troubleshooting. So we really appreciate what they do. But I want to in particular recognize 2 of our school counselors tonight. And the first award, what we call the Rising Star Award, goes to Ashley Perry, the school counselor at Clarke Middle School. Now, although this is Ashley's first year of employment at Clarke Middle School, she is not new to the mentor program, because when she did her internship several years ago at Clarke Middle, she was an informal liaison with the program. So she hit the ground running, and she has been absolutely amazing. She's really a shining example of how to keep communicating with mentors, letting them know when there are schedule changes, just keeping them organized, matching people. She says to me, I love all our mentors. And so I really appreciate what she's doing. And if anyone in this room needs any tips on getting organized, I would really like to invite you to visit Ashley's office, because she has a whiteboard which is approximately as big as a Chick-fil-A billboard, and it's organized by projects and timelines and so on. So let us all learn. The second award goes to Sondra Arnold Smith, school counselor at Timothy Road Elementary School. Sondra has been a supporter of the mentor program for a number of years, but I've just particularly noticed in the last couple of years some of the things that she does particularly well. She spoke at one of our mentor training sessions, talking about the district, about our students, some of the challenges that they face, why mentors are important, and she just has a great awareness and sensitivity to some of the issues that kids face. She also makes it clear that mentors at Timothy are expected to have some academic component in what they do. She always has an annual volunteer appreciation event to which she invites mentors. Finally, she just puts a great deal of thought into matching her students with mentors, and she has real insight into what will be best for students. So thank you, and thank all of you.
Okay, Dr. Lanu, we're down to board reports. Unless you have some additional
That ends
comment.
my report for this evening. It's a good report this evening. Thank you.
We're down to board reports. Mr. Payne, GSB report. You have 11 district report.
Yes, I have a short report. Ms. Thornton and I, we attended the Government Operations Committee meeting in Macon Monday before last. And this year there were a lot of school districts who challenged the report. And the only thing about it is once you challenge the report coming from the Georgia School Board Association, you must be there to speak for the challenge. And there was only one school district that had a person present to speak on the challenge. And this was from Clarke County. And the reason for the challenge was the fact that they want to go back to elected school superintendents. And that may be on the ballot next year, sponsored by our legislators. And that was the only challenge. That was the only challenge, that there was representation. I stated to the board some time ago, if you make a challenge to the presented program, you must be there to give reason and rationale why you're challenging whatever the legislation or whatever the report coming from the Georgia School Board Association is. And there were several challenges, but there was no one there to give rationale or reason why they were challenging. So, Oviedo, we can look out for a long session when we get to Savannah. It will be a long session. The other report I want to make is that Jim Plunkett, who is one of those that give the Capitol Watch from Atlanta on our legislators, he made an excellent report at my district meeting the other night. And not only did he make an excellent report, but he gave out written material to all those that were present. And I would like for you in your emailing to thank him and Angela Palm from Georgia School Board Association for the excellent job that they are doing on Capitol Watch. They keep us updated every night. You go in and you can find out what happened at the Capitol. The other report I want to make is the fact that Risk Management and Workman Compensation Fund had an excellent report this year. In our reserve at Risk Management is $26 million, and in Workman Comp is $11 million. And we sent 4 delegates to England, and they met with Lords of London and brought back an excellent report. They are just pleased with how we are transacting our business and how that we are growing. We've gone from 3 years ago, I challenged the board of directors and those working in the field. We wanted to get to 100 members, and we are now at 96. We are 4 away. So I don't know what they're going to make it by the time we have our annual meeting in April or not, but we're trying to make it. The other thing I want to report is the fact that the large school districts, they are able to sponsor when there is a lot of accidents in that district. They sponsor workshops. They are able to afford workshops. But we are now having sponsors other than the school district that are small, that are not able to sponsor. We have sponsors who donate money to the Georgia School Board Association, and we can go in. If a school district is small and having a lot of accidents, we can go in there and give them the right training so that they can cut down on their accidents, and if they cut down on the accidents, suddenly their premium will decrease. The last thing I want to report, the Workman Compensation is up 3% this year. Risk Management is up 3.5%. So we're keeping our rates down. Many of our members are coming back. Some of them left and went to other companies, because you have these overnight companies that come in and promise a big reduction in premium, and they last 1 or 2 years. And then those school districts are left without insurance. But we are here. We are here to stay. We are working for our children. We're working for the school district. And it's a good investment to invest in the Georgia School Board Association, Workman Comp, and Risk Management. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. I believe I'm next on. Go ahead, Ms.
I
O'Leary.
just wanted to add that...
I forgot about you, Avita.
You forgot about me? Okay. That Mr. Payne won the District 11 position again for the next 3 years.
Yep.
And we should commend and applaud him. He had some opposition, but I think that Mr. Payne has really been dedicated. And there are a lot of things that Mr. Payne, that people don't know about Mr. Payne, and when you ride with somebody for 2 hours up and down the road, you find out stuff. So I've got a new appreciation for Vernon Payne, but I do want to congratulate him again for representing us and representing us well. The other thing that he mentioned was about the that people don't come. They make a recommendation to I guess the things they want to bring, and they're not there. But there's a lot of good feedback, and they don't get to hear that. So I think that people should go to those meetings and at least find out why an issue isn't voted or changed during the governance meeting. The other thing is, because I missed my 3 hours last month, I had to make it up. But I went to the finance meeting also in Macon, and Angela Palm did a presentation on the budget, and I'm going to give the highlights, the same highlights that Mr. Payne spoke, that was shared at the District 11 meeting. I have copies of it, and I'm going to give it to Terry so she can get it out to everybody. And they just highlight the budgetary things that went through on the legislative session, so we'll just be abreast for those who are interested. And the other session that I went through was part of, they talked about what districts are doing with this setback or this downspend with the budgets, and they talked about furloughs. And I was amazed that some school districts have up to 15 days
Yes.
of
yes,
furloughs.
Some more than that.
And other districts had no days of furloughs. But we're kind of about average. And I think the one that stood out to me was Clayton County. They're at 0 furlough days this year, after all that they've been through. But yeah, yeah. But and then the other thing, which I guess has just has continued me to ride this horse on supplements, that he talked about supplements in the district and how they're dealing with the budget. And half the people in the room have supplements like we do. Others have no supplements, and there was one district that has ended supplements for new employees. So I've been getting a lot of information, and I just want to bring it back, and I will get it to Terry so she can get it out to anybody, and if anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them.
I want to apologize to everyone for having to sit down. I've got a disc and nerves in my back, and they just don't cooperate.
We understand, Mr. Payne. Okay, thank you very much. I believe I'm next on the agenda. Mr. Superintendent, if you take one and pass the other 4 down to the board members, and if you would pass these 4 down to board members there, wait until you get it in your hand.
This is the national.
Yeah, this is the NSBA report. The National School Boards Association Conference was held in San Diego, California, and I traveled there April the 12th through the 15th, and I'm giving you a packet of information. Very quickly, I'm going to go through this packet of information with you because I think it's worth sharing. The very first piece that you see there, the 9/11 anniversary, and that is on the flag. We're all aware of what happened 9/11, and that was a flag that was flying across from the World Trade Center, and that flag was almost demolished. But here's what I want to report. It was very exciting to me to see this flag hanging there in the convention center in San Diego, California. Very exciting. It was, you know, I didn't anticipate that it was this large. I knew that it was displayed in Washington, D.C., but they moved it out there, and this is what I wanted to share with you. If you turn to the second page, you'll see a printed page of information there. As I said, that flag was nearly destroyed, but over 300 million Americans have experienced this National 9/11 Day. And the lesson on this is that stitching America back together, stitch by stitch. And just looking at that information there, this flag was stitched back by soldiers, school children, war heroes, Martin Luther King Jr. family. Also, this was very exciting to me that when President Lincoln was assassinated at the Ford Theater, they laid him on a flag, and they took a piece of that flag, and it was stitched to this flag. And as I said, I stood there, I touched it, I looked at it, I took pictures of it with my cell phone, etc., and I wanted to share that with you. But most important, what I wanted to share with you, just looking at 9/11, there's some lessons that they're put together, and I'm going to give these to Dr. Lanu. They're lessons that they've put together, and I think that it would be worth that, well, I started to say a history class, a social science class, but I think any class in Clarke County School District would enjoy that lesson, and plus the fact, the video that would come with it. That was just a patriotic moment that I wanted to share with you about that flag. They moved it back, I believe, to Washington, D.C. Once they complete the World Trade Center, there's going to be a room, a special room, museum room, that they're going to hang that flag in. But do look that information over, because like I said, I think that it's really worth it. It was really a patriotic moment for me. And when I went around to that room just to view that flag, you can imagine the number of people that were gathered around there. They were doing the same thing I was doing, touching and feeling and looking, etc. But wanted to share that with you. Okay, now the next part of the packet that I'm going to share with you, look at the, said looking for workshop session handouts. NSBA doing almost exactly what we're doing here at Clarke County. They're going paperless. You know, last year I brought you back a magazine or a newspaper that was printed each morning afterward. Look for it this time, it was not there because of what I just said. They're going paperless. And I wanted to share this sheet with you. And I think we all are familiar with the scan QR code. And I have to purchase me an iPhone or BlackBerry or something because I only have a cell phone. You know, you can scan this code here and all of that information. Yeah, we're going there and you can bring it home and download it on your PC or whatever.
iPad.
Yeah, iPad. That's correct. Now,
Your iPad. You can do it.
You can do it.
yeah, but see, I didn't have anything to scan it with.
You have your iPad.
But I didn't take it with me.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I didn't take it with
You
me.
have to have an app.
Yeah,
You have to download an app.
Yeah.
It's free app.
That's
it's
correct.
free.
Now, look at the bottom there. The very last statement there says, visit the website following conference. You have a website address there. Do that because everything that was offered at the NSBA conference is on that website.
That's right.
Once you pull that website up, and I was on it today, you can click on that icon and you can go through all of the sessions. You may see sessions that you're interested in, and then you can click on that, and you also can print it out. In fact, I was surprised, you know, they're giving credit, SDU credits at the NSBA conference, although we can't get credit for it here in Georgia. And that was my certificate on there. But it's really exciting to do that. So I wanted to share that with you. And let's see, if you look at the next piece of information, you see the 2013 NSBA theme, Take the Leap. That was the theme, leadership, education, achievement, and progress. And I tell you, they had some leaping information out there. I really enjoyed it. If you look at the back page of that, I think it's on the back page there, you see the 8 areas of action encompass the key work of school boards.
Right.
I sat there in a general session, and when the president of the NSBA was going through these 8 items here, I'm like, I wonder whether he talked with Dr. Lanier. Look at those items, board.
Yeah.
Okay, just look at those items.
Yeah.
We are right in line with what's going on around this country
Yes.
and the new trends in education. Just look at that. I highlighted the first one there, establish a clear vision of student achievement as top priority of the school board, staff, and community. And I think that our superintendent, as a leader of this school district, you've done that. Also look at number 5, align resources to focus on students meeting standards. When he first came to this district, when we hired him, first thing he said to me, and I think he said it to the entire board, you know what, you're not teaching standards, but we are now. Okay? But anyway, you browse through those, and I wanted to share those with you because they went over those in the first general session there, the president of the NSBA. Also, I made some notes. Make sure you read those notes. I'm not going to read them to you, but the reason I made those notes as he was speaking, because of this. That National School Boards Association, they are right in connection with the local Georgia School Boards Association and all other states. They're right in tune with them.
Right.
And when you look at it realistic, like I said, taking the lead, you know, all of the sessions that you will see offered at that particular conference, they are connected with NSBA and also the state organizations. And I thought, and that's, when you look at it realistically, I thought that was just tremendous because right now we're talking about Common Core curriculum. And I can tell you now, Common Core curriculum, that was the buzzword out there in San Diego, California at that conference. But do take a look at that. Now, the next piece, get this one. There again, our superintendent is right in tune. Disappearing ink. Moving from textbooks to digital content. Now, I went all the way to San Diego to learn this when I got out there, because Dr. Lanu had to share this, but I was saying netbooks. That's obsolete. Okay? iBooks, digital textbooks, all of that. in that particular session, in a session like this, I knew that it would be crowded, and I got there very early, and still you had almost 50 people in that room. And I sat beside a board member from Houston, Texas, and he's an attorney on the school board in the district out there. And he had an iBook, and I played with it before we started class. And I tell you, it was very impressive to me, and I think that it was impressive to me because I was asking him about it and just, reviewing it. I feel like it's something that students would grasp. And he said that their students in that particular district, they do so much better with those iBooks, But like I said, disappearing ink. Now, the state of Virginia Department of Education was really in charge of this workshop. That last statement I have printed there in your packet, you would find an information brief on technology, career, and adult education. Virginia Department of Education, please read, do that. The one that I want you to read, let me get to it. It's the last sheet. It's that information brief. There again, division based on open education resources. If you all recall, Dr. Lanou talked to us about he took a team of people to the State Department of Education, I believe. Now, in this particular information brief, if you read through it, you'll see open education resources. And these resources are being shared amongst teachers, and Dr. Lanou already talked to us about this. And as I said, attending these sessions and sitting there listening to all of this, I felt really good because I said, we're right in tune and we are so far ahead of some of the other districts because of the fact that this is not happening in some of the districts and some of the board members that I spoke with. Okay, the last piece of information there, you see a PowerPoint presentation. Earlier this week, Mr. David Huff sent out an email saying to all board members that he had talked with the Superintendent's Evaluation Committee to revise the Superintendent's evaluation. This is all about you, Dr. Lanou. Yeah. And I said to David when I was just navigating through the class booklet out there, or the session booklet out there, and when I saw this particular session on a deeper look at superintendent evaluation, I said, I can't believe it. I wrote David's name down beside that particular session. But it's all here, and I've had a conversation with David about this. It was a good session. As I said, I'm not going to go through this presentation with you, but we know that Dr. Sally Educator worked with us on developing an evaluation instrument for our teachers, and I've talked with David about that. He talked with me about that. Perhaps she can lead us through a process, using this information. If you recall, last year I brought back a presentation, and in a workshop, June the 29th of 2012, Dr. Parrish used that presentation. So it's good information here. And one of the first things, when you look at these, some of the presenters, of course, if you look at that, you see Phil Gore, and he is the Director of Leadership Development Services in Washington State School Directors Association. And also the other presenter was a superintendent. When the first thing they said, some of the districts, and said including ours, they have not revised a superintendent evaluation in 50 years. I thought they were really just sort of exaggerated on that, but everybody sort of agreed with that. But here it is, David, and we'll go to work with this, and I feel like Dr. Educator would help us through this process. Let me conclude my remarks by saying this. When I attend these conferences, what I look for sessions, and I look for, even going through the exhibits, I look for things that are connected to what we're already doing. And then, of course, if we're not doing it, if it's so exciting, I'll look for it. I look for those that type of information. And they have gotten so high tech, they're even walking through the exhibits. They scan your name tag and they send you all of this information. I have given I said to you a few minutes ago that the buzzword out there was Common Core Curriculum. I have given Dr. Lanou some information on that. You've heard David Stubbs speak to us about cluttered classrooms and uncluttering those classrooms. And when I was going through the exhibits, I couldn't believe it. I walked up on an exhibit that had a classroom displayed. And I saw the word uncluttered and whatever it was. And I stopped and had about a 40 minutes conversation with us rep there. And he gave me some information, and then he scanned my name tag, and he sent me some information, and I've already shared that with, David Stubbs. Also, building new schools now. Of course, I know the schools that we're looking at building would be elementary schools. But anyway, lockers and also mailboxes for teachers. All of that is a new day for that.
Yes.
And they stand my
Yes.
name tag, and the gentleman sent me the information, a notebook, and I gave that notebook to Mr. Ted Gibbert. But it was a good conference, and you talking about 18 or 19,000 folks, et cetera, there. I enjoyed it. And the next one would be April the 5th through the 7th, New Orleans.
Yes, in New Orleans.
All right. Comments, go ahead.
Mr. President, I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you bringing it back. And to the rest of the board members, it's so important that we send people to these national conventions. One of the things that I didn't understand about the charter school, and I didn't realize what had happened in Washington, D.C., we didn't send anybody to Washington, D.C. last year. I went this year, but we didn't send anybody last year. And I didn't know about what had happened in Florida. Jeb Bush had started this for excellence in education in Florida on charter school, and in Arkansas there was this organization, and I didn't know about it. Sis had mentioned it to the board of directors, but she didn't give me the full report, and I didn't get it till I got in Washington, D.C. There were those who were out to destroy public education, and I want you to know that. And this is a secret organization. Governors can be members, legislatures can be members, and they train them how to present legislation and get it passed that will increase charter education in your state. And I just didn't realize that until I went to Washington, D.C. and I read this, and this lady made a report on these organizations that's trying to destroy public education. So it's very important that we send somebody to these national conventions so they can bring back the information that we need to know.
Thank you, Mr. Payne, and you jogged my memory. As I said, I was strolling through that website today, the sheet that I gave you, and there's a PowerPoint presentation, there are information in terms of what's going on Capitol Hill. And I read so much of it and then I quit, but I do encourage you to go to that website, because I guarantee you, as I said, taking the lead, you are going to learn something that would grow you, your skills as a board member. It was a good conference and very well organized this time too, Mr. Payne.
Better than it was in.
Oh yeah. As I said, they've taken the paper out of it. They send you a.
In our superintendent's home state that.
Be careful.
They sent all people that pre-registered. They sent you a notification sheet with that QR code on there. All you had to go when you went to that room, you scan that, it print your name tag out. You go over there and pick up your bag and your information. You're on your way. They just about have taken the human element out of it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's my report, Mr. Superintendent.
Good report.
And we are down to
policy discussion. Just a reminder, especially those in the public, that the format for policy discussions has changed. That is, there's no such recommendation as on the table. That is not a term that we use. That we will simply place these for a discussion item. Then they'll be made public for 4 weeks, and then we will vote on those policies and exhibits in the following month. But these are the policy discussion items. Simply, again, the process of reviewing all of our policies, and Board Member Ellis or Ernest could certainly speak if people have questions on these. But as you can see, some is just reordering, streamlining, putting bus conduct codes in different areas, creating new language that better relates to our curriculum and the work that we do in programs, so we have to change certainly some of the language. I'm not sure that there were a large significant changes, but I'll let certainly anyone has any questions about that. We can certainly discuss those at this time.
We're also working to be sure that the policy is succinct and the reg is broken down with some instruction to the policy. Right. And we had just in our efforts to clean up, we had some policies that were longer and had more detail in them, and we're breaking them up to be a policy and a reg. So if you see a change like that, that's the rationale behind it. It's just to parallel our policies and procedures.
And I apologize to Ms. Ellis, and I told her, Ovid and I was in Macon, that's why I was not at the policy meeting.
Okay, do we have any questions about these policies? Go ahead, Ms. Thornton.
Is this the, no, I don't have any questions.
Oh,
That'd be
okay.
down
I
on
think
the
you're talking about the
action
second set.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got me. You got me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so no further discussion, we move on?
We can move on.
Okay. Next, we'll go to action items. First, you, President Worthy. on
Yeah,
minutes.
okay, action items here, we had 4 meetings, minutes of the previous meetings. That's a work session on April the 4th, regular meeting on April the 11th, and a call meeting on April the 18th. You reviewed those minutes. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Payne, got a second by Ms. Davis. Any questions about these minutes? Any questions? All in favor? So right in, please. I think that's a unanimous vote. Financial report.
Recommend that we approve the financial report for March 2013.
Okay, the recommendation from the superintendent to approve the financial report, moved by Dr. Spangler. Got a second on that from Mr. Payne. Any questions pertaining to the financial report? Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Thank you very much. Okay.
Number 3, and I just mentioned that we won't use table, but it will be mentioned one more time because this will end our last sequence of this process using that term. So at this point, I'd ask first that we remove from the table policies and regulations and exhibits.
Okay, recommendation from the superintendent to remove these policies, regulations, and exhibits from the table, moved by Ms. Thornton. Got a second on that, second from Mr. Huff. All in favor? Thank you very much. Now,
Are there any questions regarding regulations and
I do
exhibits?
have a question. I do want to have a discussion, and I think that's where I got both of these policies mixed up. I did call Sarah today and a couple of other board members, and one of the things, and it's not really, maybe I'm being just a little bit trivial, but one of the things on the board policy on election of our board members, I was wondering if we could have a point where people could actually express their interest in running for president, or Mr. Payne just frowning up at me. Is all
I'm
I
just
can-
looking at you. I'm just looking.
Well, smile at me. And
This pain won't let me smile.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. But I would like there to be some time span where people who want to nominate someone to run for board president or vice president, or if somebody wants to volunteer to run, that we have enough time to hear that either in some little, I don't know, I think the time thing is the issue that we're wrestling with. Because normally when we come back that first Thursday in January, that's when we vote and we get the names and whatever. And what I really wanted to do was know in December, but I think after talking to Sarah, that might be a conflict with when we actually vote. So I guess I need to ask, first of all, Mr. Pruitt, is there a deadline that we have to vote for the president and vice president?
Yes, it has to be at the first regular meeting of the board in January each year.
Okay, so is there any way that we do not have to come back that first Thursday? Because that's our planning session now. That's not even a regular.
Well, and that's why you have sort of this nomination and preference procedure at your work session, but then that vote is ratified at your first regular meeting because to be consistent with your charter.
Okay, so then there is no way that we could know before. I guess I should have asked you this too when I called you today. There is no way that we can know before that first Thursday or have names of people that are in. And I'll tell you the reason. Usually when we do it the other way, and we first come back, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is kind of going on. And I just want us to be more transparent when we elect folk. And even if somebody is new and they want to run, they should have that option. But I just want to put it out there. This is like Denise trying to get this 6 o'clock meeting. I've been saying this since I have been on this board. And I may not get it this one, Denise, but sooner or later I have faith now because you got this 6 o'clock meeting. But I just think that there needs to be more transparency, and the community needs to see how we elect folk and not just come in here, and especially for new board members. That's just my thought.
And Vita, if I can just speak on that for a minute, and I hope you read the new policy, but with comments from Denise and some other folks, we really did revamp the process, and I think it will be a little less awkward, is what I've heard the complaint in the past. So it'll be on a written, you write your nomination down, and then it's a written ballot. You got your name on it, so it's public, but it is at least not a show of hands. And you write down who you vote for and pass it in, which I think will eliminate some of just the awkward feelings. So I think some of the procedures in place that we worked really hard on this, because it's been going on for a long time. We worked really hard, and I think it'll help. I think it's moving in that direction, because I know that you've definitely been vocal about this for a while. I agree.
Ever since I've been on board.
So anyway, but I think we really are moving in some good directions with it, and I think it's getting.
Well, I don't want to be the only one that have questions. This was what other people have questions too. I'm just the only person that usually comes and speak on it, but. I can, if it's the charter issue, I'm not about to go through no charter changes, but I do think that we need to be as transparent as possible. And Mr. Payne does have his hand up peacefully.
Go ahead, Ms. Payne.
Gentlemen, ladies, one of the things that I've always appreciated about this board is the fact that we don't drag this thing out. And what you're talking about, if somebody, and then you start politicking on the telephone, and then you get to be a politician. And you know, I just don't like politicians. That's why this country is in a mess like it is today, is because of politicians. You know, we just need to be upfront and in our heart and mind elect the best person that we feel that can lead this board of education to higher heights, and not have a week or 2 weeks of politicking and going on. I just don't like that.
Mr. Payne, exactly is the reason why I said that, because that's what has happened in the past.
Okay, any other questions about policy BBA? Go ahead, Mr. Huff.
One of the things I had a question about was under particularly the duties of the president. It seems it's a practice that the president is determines the committee assignments.
Yes.
The president, but that's not under the duties of the president. And I was going to suggest that if that is a clear duty, that be under written in the policy, or is that just sort of an informal practice that we've been abiding by?
I'm trying to recall whether it was in this policy or in another policy.
I believe it's in a separate policy.
It is.
I think it is. It's somewhere, because we've reviewed it.
Okay.
It is somewhere.
It's in a separate policy.
Is it in the one about committees as opposed to the one about?
Right. Yes.
That's correct.
in duties, though.
Yeah, it's another policy because I have read it.
And actually, that was just the policy committee just made some changes to that to make it clearer as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, going back to what Ms. Ellis said, and I have gone through this, in fact, I've scrutinized this policy here, and in terms of, it's all here in parentheses, non-secret ballot. And of course, with those ballots now, and I think Terrell have always said to us, and of course, Mike Pruitt have always said to us too, that it's got to be public. Now, once those, even if we don't raise our hands, once those ballots are circulated and collected, then it's got to be made public in terms of the results of that, even though we don't raise our hands. It's not a secret ballot, so I'll point that out. And then that was one little tiny typo.
I see it. I'll get it.
Okay.
I'll get them.
Copy.
So when they're collected and made public, it's just the number or the name and
No, you got to go with the name.
So then, excuse me for not just being a little, well then, if the name is there and I voted away, what's the point of a secret ballot?
It's not.
I mean,
not a
not
secret
secret, a public ballot on paper. What's the difference? Yes.
Okay, turn to the regulation.
No, but she's the one who made the recommendation.
Who?
Denise.
Denise. She's the one who, that was her suggestion.
Oh.
And I was asking her what was the.
Oh, okay.
She had a great
I'll let
rationale.
Denise respond to that.
My rationale was that if you have to write it down and sign your name to it, you're voting your conscience. You're not voting the politics of looking around to see if
Right.
somebody's got 5 votes, and then you
Yeah.
decide they're going to
Yeah.
win, so you want to be on the winning side, even
Right.
though that's not what you would have voted, because you want to look like you were on the winning side.
Yes. No problem.
That would stop that.
Yeah.
It would stop people.
Is that politicking, like Mr. Payne was saying?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, it's politics.
I think so.
Me and
Make-
Mr. Payne
make
gonna talk
sure-
after this. I'm gonna bring some things to his memory when I.
Watch out.
Let's not do that on television.
Make sure you, board members, make sure you review the administrative regulation, the board officer ballot. I've looked at it so many times, and I looked at it again this afternoon. It's on the administrative regulations there with the board officer ballots, type of ballot. And you also have to put your signature on there, and then also print your name. All that information is there. I'm very pleased with what the policy committee has done with this policy here. Okay. Now, any other questions about DBA?
I just want to be absolutely clear.
Go ahead.
Nominations and votes occur in the same meeting, is that right?
Absolutely.
Like
That's the first Thursday in
Yes.
January, this coming year, 2014.
And then
Did I
ratified,
hear
correct.
that because we have our work sessions in the first meeting, that the vote won't take place until the second meeting?
No.
So
Ratification.
nominations and elections occur in the first meeting, and the second meeting is.
Let me be clear about this now. Even though we have work sessions now, okay, on the first Thursday, but we also can have a call board meeting, and most definitely, we're gonna have a call board meeting to do that. The same as last week,
I'm good.
the 18th.
Yeah.
That was a call board meeting
Right.
before we had the work session.
Could I ask just so I can get clear in my mind, and this is to Mr. Pruitt, because you talked about vote and then ratification. Could you describe that particular sequence, because I think that's relative to this conversation.
And it's simply because your regular meeting is always the second Thursday, which is a little late after January 1, so, and it's after your work session. So your charter says you've got to have the actual election at that regular meeting. The practice has developed, and now it's going to be clearer in policy, that you hold those elections at the beginning of your first work session, the first time you get together, which is a meeting under open meetings law. Then you have those officers in place, but to comply with your charter, you're going to have to do the formal election at your regular meeting a week later,
Which is the second.
which is the second one.
Very good. I thought I understood that correctly. Thank you.
And again, go back and review this policy because it's all spelled out in terms of if it's a tie. If it's a tie,
Yes.
it's all spelled out in terms of what we must do on that particular night. Okay? Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Mr. Chairman, can I just ask our council to read what is in the charter about the election of officers?
Oh,
just
sure.
so.
The President and Vice President of the Board of Education of Clarke County shall be elected from the membership of the board by a majority vote of the members. The President and Vice President shall be elected at the first regular meeting of the elected board held in 1994 and at the first regular meeting of the elected board in each even-numbered year thereafter, and each shall serve until a successor is elected by the board as provided herein. The President shall be compensated in the amount of $450 per month, and each of the other members shall be compensated in the amount of $300 per month. Members of the Board of Education, including the President, shall also be reimbursed for their actual expenses necessarily incurred in the performance of their
But that's all
official
that it
duties.
says about the election. So it really doesn't say we have to do anything at the first session. It's just, but you're saying it's a matter of practice. That
Yeah,
is
and I
law.
think, and Dr. Spangler seems to be very up to speed on this more than I am, but I think part of the concern is you may have either your president or vice president or both could have gone off the board because they didn't run again or for whatever reason. So I think that's the reasoning behind the practice. That's the first thing you need to do the first time you get together.
You're exactly correct. Terry explained that many, many times because
Yes.
if that would happen,
Yeah.
then you would be left without presiding officers at that second meeting. Okay, any other questions pertaining to policy BBA?
I'm still struggling with this.
Yeah.
That ain't making no sense. That is not making no sense. Go ahead.
But
No. Oh, it's a different question.
Can,
Go.
yeah, can the president make a motion, and can the president second a motion?
Yes.
I thought, okay.
That's an exception to that.
There's an exception to that.
Could I ask, just as I'm listening to this conversation, because I want to be clear. Because the initial process was that there was an election on the first meeting. We'll call it the first meeting or a work session, whatever. It can be done at that time, where typically the ballot process occurs. A winner emerges as a president, correct?
Correct.
At that point in time, do we then also vote on a vice president?
Correct.
Okay. However, would you say that that election doesn't go into full effect to the year until the second?
I think that's right.
I mean, so is there, because you made something that there was another formal election. Are we saying that we elect the individuals and we formally vote on them on the second Thursday? Or after you vote on them, would it be appropriate to ratify them after the vote? I mean, is that what?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, that's the question between practice and charter.
I'm not sure I quite followed the question.
The question is, we use the term ratification for the second Thursday.
That's right. That's our term we're using. It is actually the election under the charter.
Okay.
Okay.
So the question, I guess, I think if I get from Ovita is, if we have to conduct the election on the second Thursday, would you saying, and it's just a good one for us that we try to clarify, because we've gone through so many times, would we have that process on the first Thursday, or do we just do it on the second Thursday?
That's what I'm saying. And if
You
we
see what I'm
do-
saying?
And if we're doing it on the second Thursday, the ratification, whatever you want to call it, if that is it, I'm comfortable with that. I have a problem when we come in that day and some names and then we vote and that's the person that first Thursday. That's what I'm saying.
So you want a delay between nominating and voting?
Yeah, I want that, no, you can't say that.
You have a delay. You have the first Thursday and the second Thursday. That's the delay.
Not,
No,
that's not.
no, that's not in
Look, let's do this. This has been going on for the longest time forever and a day. I am okay, at least I know that I'm not crazy. There's some other people who see it and other people don't. So I'm okay with it. But I think that a week gives some breathing room. I know it does for me. And if everybody else is okay with it, I'm fine. But I just thought that all of us need that kind of time before we say this is the president that day. It's just been uncomfortable in the past, and it has not been good in the past.
Okay. Let me go back to the question that Mr. Huff asked, whether the president can make a motion, do a second, etc. And I said yes. Now let me do further explanations on this, because I've never done that. And if I have to do that while I'm presiding as president, some people may not understand that, because I saw that when I was principal of Cedar Shores High School, attending board meetings, and I saw the president doing that. I'm saying, no, you can't do that. That's what I'm saying to myself, because of the fact that when you're presiding over something, you have too much influence. But I learned that as an elected official, that's the exception to that rule. When you're an elected official and you're presiding over a meeting, you have the same rights as any other person on this board. Now, is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Charles, I do have an example. When I was elected to be the delegate, my name came up on one particular Thursday, and then the next Thursday y'all voted for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's different from what we're talking about now, that was in this policy and also what's in the charter, and according to what Terrell have explained to us.
It's different what's in the policy. I'm saying, though, that's what we did, though. My name came up, I was nominated, and then the next week.
I know, but you see, you being nominated as a delegate, and the difference is that when you electing officers for this Board of Education, that's the difference there. That's the way I've always understood it when Terrell was here, and of course Mike Purdy saying the same thing.
This is just different because, I mean, it would work fine. You could do everything at the second meeting, and the president from the prior 2-year term could just preside at that first one because it says until successor is elected. That'd be fine, except in that situation where your president's no longer on the board. Now what do we do? And that's why the practice and the policy has developed. We're going to vote at that first meeting to make sure we got somebody in place, and then we'll ratify it at the next
Well, if they're there the first meeting, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be there at the second meeting.
Well, obviously, it's not going to happen in January because of the fact that I'm going to be on this board. I just been reelected. And I got 3 more years, so obviously that's not going to happen. And the same thing with David Huff, because we all even district board members, all even districts will go with that even year.
Right.
Now, if it was Denise, let's see, Linda, you, and Kara, and also Sarah, we'll have a problem if one of you all were president, because one of you all may be going off this board, okay? And one of you may not win that election to come back. Then you got a problem. But like I said, it's not going to be a problem in January of 2014 because I have 3 years left on this board. Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
I was just going to say it's really going to be interesting with this new election in the summer instead of the fall. It's going to be a huge, I mean,
Yes, I dreaded that last year, and I didn't have any opposition. I do know that some legislation, they're trying to push some new legislation through the General Assembly to change that back to November, but it didn't happen. So it makes,
it's a bigger issue than, so it's not just us, but whatever. But
politics.
I just wanted to mention to the board that the charter says it would be elected at the first regular meeting, which is the second meeting. If this board so chose to make nominations the first meeting and elect them the second, they could certainly do that. It's up to this board, the majority of the board, of how you want to conduct your business. So it's clearly in the charter we have the leeway to do that.
To address it in policy.
Great. That was the question.
And
Right.
And there probably is some piece that if we go into a work session and it's not called to order by the president, the work session, Mike, is maybe you need to have the standing president at the work session.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you don't do anything at your work session, the first work session
There's no
in
voting,
January.
there's no voting.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to run. I mean, it's a meeting. Somebody's got to run it.
somebody got to do it.
I suppose if your president has gone off the board, your vice president would assume the duties, assuming your vice president's still on the board.
And if not the superintendent, I mean, this is a
No,
policy
no, no,
change,
no,
right?
no.
Why would, it would, he's the treasurer.
You can't do that, Ms. Davis. No.
Okay, so then let me
This
ask
is
this.
board.
Policy
Can this
says
go
the
back
longest
to the
serving board
policy
member
committee
can take over.
to come up with succession plans and describe that for us? Can we do that?
But do know a superintendent can't run a board.
I'm fine with that, as long as we take this back to the policy committee and resolve this.
Linda, it's in there. It's in there.
The succession plan?
The succession plan is in there,
The
and
longest
it's
serving board member.
president, vice president, longest standing board member.
That's correct.
Well, then if we have a succession plan, then we go back to my original suggestion is that that second Thursday could be our vote time. I mean, we have that option. And I didn't hear anything that Attorney Pruitt read that didn't say that. I just don't see what the problem is.
If I can just see if I can get an either or. So let's just say we're going to vote on the regular meeting, the first regular meeting, which is us typically is going to be the second Thursday.
Right.
That doesn't prohibit this board to decide when they're going to do nominations, right?
Right.
Do you know what I mean, for the position, and whether the nominations are split on one day and voting on the next day, or you could do it all at once. I think the board has that discretion to say, work session, we're going to nominate, we're going to vote the next week. Or you're not going to nominate, you'll nominate the first meeting, like we've always done, and do a board. But this board has the ability to make that decision within the policy.
So the question comes back to policy BBA. And do you want to make a motion to amend policy BBA?
Yes, I want to make a motion. I want to make a motion.
We get out of order.
I'm sorry.
Okay, now, we down to policy BBA, And we just in a discussion stage. That's why we haven't had a motion.
Could I recommend approval for the sake of getting on the table? We'll separate them and do BBA.
Yes.
I recommend approval of BBA.
Well, okay, now if you recommended the approval for BBA, then I'm gonna call for a motion.
Correct.
Be correct.
Okay.
You need to get it on the
Moved by
table for it to be
Mr.
amended.
And I'll,
Seconded by Mr. Thorne. Okay. Now, all in favor, now you make the recommendation.
Now it's discussion.
Discussions for BBA.
Make a motion to amend it.
I would like to make a motion, what's that?
To amend.
To amend.
To amend, is it BBA?
BBA.
To have the nomination on the first Thursday and the vote on the election on the regular board meeting. The regular board meeting.
Okay,
I second.
okay. She made a second on that. Now, any discussion on that? Because I'm thinking if you're gonna do that, that has to be in this policy.
Yes, we're voting to amend the
Amend
policy.
the
She's
policy.
moving.
Yeah,
Add
that's
that
right.
language, to add that
Now,
language.
you're gonna send it back to,
No, it's to add the
No, we're
language.
gonna
or
amend
you
it right
gonna
here.
wordsmith it tonight?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
in terms of what
It's
she
one
said. Okay, all right. Any further questions on that?
Change the first sentence.
All right.
Good.
Comfortable with that?
Could I just ask for,
Well, somebody's got to write this up, and
I don't know.
so,
Just send
so-
it back to postpone it.
here's what, could I just, for the sake of this right now, if I can do the recommendation, that we need to insert a line that says, if I got what you were saying correctly, is that the nominations will be held at the first meeting, whether work session or meeting, or called meeting, and the elections will occur at the first regular meeting in January.
Yes.
That would be the language of the insert.
Yes.
We
It's
got
just
that?
fixing the
Is
first
that-
sentence of the policy.
If I got a thought in there that I correct, if I get some editorial, but that's what
That's
you're
it in
adding.
this, yes.
Okay,
So that's what you're going to include in policy?
that's correct.
Okay, all righty. We had a motion and the second on the policy BBA to amend this policy. All in favor of amending the policy, let it be known by showing of your right hand. All in favor? 1, 2. Okay, all righty. All opposed? Motion passed.
Who
Okay.
opposed it, you and?
Ms. Payne?
Okay.
We'll vote on the Can we vote on that?
Now we need to vote on
On
the
the
policy.
policy.
Yep, we got to vote on the policy. Now we voted on policy BBA. That was the amendment. Now I need a motion. Moved by Dr.
Oh, no,
Spain.
you already had the motion, didn't you? You had a motion.
Yeah, I already had a
You had
motion.
You already have a motion. We're
Need to
ready to
just
vote.
call a vote.
You had
Oh,
to
that's
have a-
right, that's your
You had to have a
okay,
motion to have
that's right,
amendment.
okay. All in favor of, policy BBA?
As amended.
As amended.
As amended.
No, wait a minute, hey.
We just amended it.
We just
That's,
amended it.
that's now the motion that's on the floor is the
Okay,
amended
We
policy.
just amended, okay, all righty. Now, all in favor for the amendment, okay?
Of the amended policy, the
We
whole
did
policy.
that. This is BBA with
BBA.
the amendment.
Right.
With
Yeah,
the
As
BBA
amended.
with the amendment.
BBA as
Okay,
amended.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, okay? All in favor? All righty. All opposed? Two, Mr. Payne and that, okay.
Just so I know clarification, that was BBA approved as amended.
Right.
Yes.
Approved as amended,
Okay.
okay.
And, Mr. Chairman, can I request that amended policy be sent back to policy just to make sure there's nothing else there that we need to be aware of? Word-wise, the whole thing, make sure all the paragraphs.
We can send that out to policy.
Well, it's
No,
been
I mean, just
approved,
send
and that's
it.
why I was looking at
know.
Mr.
Yeah.
It's just- I know the approved amendment, I'm not talking about the old one, I'm talking about the approved one, just to make sure.
Yes, I was about to suggest, I was looking over at Mr. Hardaway, that I guess it falls to him or me or Ms. Presley or among three of us to write this up. I would suggest as soon as this is done, it be circulated to all board members, not just the policy
right,
committee.
that's right.
And then if anybody sees anything amiss,
Right.
you can bring that up at the next
Right.
meeting.
Yeah,
Correct.
just in case.
Good enough.
we've
For instance, the paragraph on ratification probably needs to be struck now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay,
Now recommend approval of the remaining policies.
okay, approval of the remaining policies, so that would be two policies, we just approved one. And that's policy JHC, student organizations, and policy KG, use of school facilities. Okay, we don't have to vote on the regulations nor the two exhibits, okay? Now, if you have reviewed policy JHC, KG, Have you reviewed those? I need a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Payne, seconded by Ms. Davis. Okay, any questions pertaining to those two policies? Any questions? All in favor? That's passed unanimously. Okay. Consent agenda.
Recommend approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, recommendations from the superintendent on the consent agenda. Moved by Mr. Payne, seconded by Ms. Thornton. All in favor? Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
And I'm going to go to item 22 that I pulled off the consent agenda, and that was simply to clarify that the amount is correct, but the descriptor of what is being purchased is referenced in the proposal 2100671566. It's a long number, it's in the back of the page. Recommend approval and purchase of pre-K for the iPad tablets.
Okay, that's the iPad 2 purchase from Apple, 36 pre-K classroom.
That's right.
iPads, recommendation from the superintendent. We all clear on that? Need a motion on that?
Yes.
Moved by Mr. Payne, seconded by Dr. Spangler. Any questions about item 22? Any questions? All in favor? Okay. One opposed? Ms. Davis, one opposed. Okay, item 24.
You know, again, these are Title I purchases. Render approval of the purchase of digital devices and laptop cards from the specified vendors using Title I funds, and those are as listed.
That's the Chrome purchase, item 24. Okay, that's the recommendation from the superintendent. What was that amount on that?
What's that? It's
What
a
was
number
that?
of items. It's a number of devices.
Okay.
You can see they're listed, please. And not just-
I'm looking at it now. That's on the purchase of digital devices,
Correct.
Chromebooks.
Right.
Okay. You understand that recommendation from the superintendent? I have a motion on that. Moved by Dr. Spangler. Got a second by Ms. Ellis. Any questions pertaining to item 24? Any questions? All in favor? Okay. Opposed? One opposed, Ms. Davis.
Okay.
Terry. Okay, item 25.
Item 25, approve the proposed premium shown above, the extension of the contract with the Georgia School Boards Association and Workmen's Compensation Fund and Risk Management Fund for the second year of a 3-year contract.
Okay, this is the district insurance. Mr. Payne just finished talking about that.
Just for the record, the workman's comp is $967,507, and the risk management liability is $474,384.
That's a total of $1,441,891. Moved by Mr. Payne. Got a second on that? Seconded by Dr. Spangler. Any questions about the district insurance coverage? Any questions? All in favor? Passed unanimously. That's item, we down to item 26. Dr.
26, the question is, there's an addition on Success Maker. That doesn't seem to be personnel. Is that something we could discuss before we go into executive session?
Classworks? Classworks.
Classwork, twice Success Maker. I meant
we can do
Classworks.
that.
Could we, that was an item that was amended?
Yeah.
Oh.
I believe that it was amended, and we added
I
as
can read it.
number. Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Thornton wanted us to amend the agenda on rescinding the reduction in workforce. That's the RIF that was voted on last week, and also on classroom technology.
Could we move those both before we go into executive session?
Fine with me.
Okay. I would then take the first one, which is
Rescind.
reduction in force.
I just wanted to speak to that. I guess I might have had an out-of-body experience last week. I still am struggling with the budget, and I just do not feel comfortable voting on any of the risks right now. I'd like to hear more from the budget hearings. I'd like to look at some more options. I am not asking anyone to change their vote, or I'm not lobbying for anyone else to change their vote. I just want to go on record, either allow me to change my vote or at least go on record stating I do not support the reduction in force at this time.
Could I just, for clarification of the board, the reduction in force we will put in because we have to before contracts. There's nothing that states that you can put positions back as a result of the budget. But if you don't reduction in force, then we'll have to adjust the expenditures for the budget to cover those items. I mean,
And that is one reason why I'm not lobbying, trying to get folk to vote with me on this. I just don't want to support that at this point.
so the motion to be made is to, to reduce,
Whatever
to
the-
eliminate that reduction in force, which means if we do that, then we have to put that money back in the budget.
But all
No, that's
I'm-
not what she's asking
no,
for.
no,
She's
no,
asking
no.
for us to give her the opportunity to re-vote and
To
change her
re-vote
vote.
and
She
change
wants
my
her vote
vote.
recorded differently.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
She
trying to get
want,
my.
I think reconsider is maybe the word. You want us to reconsider
Reconsider,
that
yes,
motion so that
that's
you can
right.
vote differently.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
Right? We've
the
done
simplest
that
way
okay,
to
that helps me.
Yeah.
the simplest way to do is just rescind her vote on that motion, and that would clear that up.
Well,
It's a Robert's rules.
it's, well, the Robert's Rules of Order on here is, we got this on the agenda, she amended the agenda, and I think we need to vote on these separately too, because the classworks technology, that's another item there.
Okay, all right.
Ms. Thornton has made her point here, so what I'll do, I'll call for a, motion on that, and I get a second on that, and then we'll vote. And, she can, whenever.
Is it all 5 of them? Because remember, each one of the reduction in force, there were 5
Yes,
different
yes.
actions.
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
I'm gonna do all, because it just got so confused, I'm just gonna do all 5.
All right, so I just want the motion to include, at least in this motion, the
5
rescinding or whatever voting we're doing is on
Reconsider all
all
5 of them.
5 of the reductions,
of the
yeah.
reduction in force recommendations approved last week.
And I, just for clarification and not to confuse Terry or whoever reads the minutes, I think I may have voted in favor of or one of them or 2 of them. What I want to do is vote no on all of them. That's what
Okay,
I'm trying
and
to
that
say.
was
Okay, that's the
5.
Robert's rule.
All right, let's get back on track.
Please.
That vote occurred, it's in the minutes, you approve those minutes at the beginning of this meeting.
Right.
The bell has been rung, that bell cannot be unrung.
Okay.
The only thing.
No, we
you
did
can
not
do-
approve those minutes. We approved
that was
April
not
minutes.
the-
We do
Well,
not approve May
You
minutes.
can't
till
approve
June.
minutes that are inconsistent with what happened anyway, it happened.
Right.
What you can do, and all you can do at this point, it's on the agenda, is if any member of this board wants to make a motion to rescind this board's approval of the RIF policy, you can make that motion. If you get a second, then that can be voted upon. And if a majority votes to rescind the RIF policy, it will be rescinded, and Dr. Lanou will have to deal with the revenue and expenditure consequences of that.
Wait just a minute.
We
You
can't
said
re-vote
RIF
on it?
policy, but what she's saying, the 5 items that were on the agenda last week, a reduction in force, we did some for the school district.
Yes.
We did some for
They were 5.
early childhood education. And within that packet, we talking about those 5, and those are the 5 I believe that she's talking
Well,
about.
And you can, yes, if somebody wants to move to rescind, those 5 RIF actions were approved.
There you go.
You can, somebody can make a motion to rescind this board's approval of any one or more or all of those RIF actions if you want to do so. Again, if that is seconded and approved by a majority of the board, it will have revenue consequences.
Right.
But then can we not immediately vote on it again so that Ms. Thornton can record the vote she wants and the rest of us can re-record our votes? That's what we've done in the past.
We've already adopted, can I question, we've already adopted the agenda.
Right.
And we adopted the agenda to rescind the vote.
There you go.
I don't know if we adopted the agenda to then go back and vote it back in with a different vote count. Could I suggest that if Ms. Thornton feels that she does not want to support the RIF, you know what I mean? If the recommendation of the RIF is, the motion is made and a second, Ms. Thornton could certainly vote for that, rescinding that, and the others could say no, and you would stand on record
Right.
as saying.
That's what I said.
However, if all the board says we agree with Ms. Thornton,
We're in
then
trouble.
I'm going to have to come back
You-
with a
you in
budget.
trouble.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We've done this before, where we have
Oh, yeah, we've
voted
done
to, I thought we called it reconsideration, but maybe not. We voted to reconsider as a courtesy to a board member to allow them to change their vote, but we did not, that action didn't undo, assuming
Well,
enough
other
people didn't
board
change their
members have
vote.
done.
And so the request for reconsideration in the past has included the assumption that we would re-vote on that motion so the board member could re-record their vote.
Okay.
And for a matter of record, what Denise is talking about is what I called you about, Mr. Pruitt. That's where I got that from.
We've done it
So,
in the past.
Yeah.
And the confusion there is, it's similar, a motion to reconsider can only be made in the same meeting.
Same meeting.
We've done it between meetings. Now, maybe we've done it wrong, but we've done it.
We've done it.
Subsequent meetings before.
I think you're right.
All
I
right.
would ask,
So we need to let you make the motion and vote it
Yeah,
down.
explain to me and the board in terms of what we're gonna do with this.
Beats me.
I don't think we can.
You can make a motion to rescind, but I have the same concern. You've amended your agenda and it's been adopted, and the only thing you put on it was rescission of a prior action. You didn't put implementation of a new action.
So if no one seconds it or no motion, it dies, right?
that's right.
Okay, look, I'm gonna make the motion, nobody seconded it, and I'm on record that I didn't want it. How about that?
Works for me.
Okay. There we go.
Make your motion, Ms. Thornton.
Oh, I make a motion to rescind all 5 of the reduction of 4 recommended policy.
Got a second to that?
Don't you dare.
Motion died.
I want to second it just so we can vote against
Is classwork similar?
Well, no,
Yes.
we need
Same
to
thing.
do that one too, because we did.
So
This one's separate.
the next one is adopted, a motion to rescind the vote, I guess, to rescind the vote on the approval of the classworks contract.
Right.
Same scenario.
Right, make your motion, Ms.
I
Thornton.
know, y'all know your roles, right? Everybody got it. I make a motion, I want to make a motion to rescind classworks policy, expenditure policy for technology.
Not a policy.
Have a second?
Expenditure contract.
Have a second on that?
No, sir.
Motion died.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
Resolved.
Now, I recommend an executive session for the acquisition, disposal, leasing, or appraisal of real estate or other property, the appointment, employment compensation, hiring, dismissal, or evaluation of employees, and pending or potential litigation claims or administrative proceedings, or the settlement of such litigation claims or administrative proceedings.
Okay, the recommendation from the superintendent to go into executive session. I need a motion. Moved by Ms. Thornton, seconded by Mr. Huff.